6 months after the Great Battle, President Song Mi-kyung stood before the largest gathering of alien species in galactic history. The new Galactic Assembly had representatives from over 300 worlds, many of which had been slaves under the Old Council. Today marks the beginning of a new age, President Song announced to the Assembly. An age where no species rules over another. An age where freedom and cooperation replace fear and oppression. In the audience, Admiral Kim Tae-ho watched with pride as Earth's leader addressed the galaxy. The war was over, but building peace was proving just as challenging as winning battles. Admiral Jang Tae-woon stood on the bridge of humanity's newest starship, the EDS Freedom. Around him, the first mixed-species fleet in galactic history was preparing for a mission of exploration, not conquest. Admiral, his communications officer reported, the Kalahari exploration ship is ready. The Threx science vessel has completed final checks. All ships are standing by. Excellent, Jang replied. Today we begin exploring the galaxy as friends, not enemies. The fleet was heading to the outer rim, regions of space that the Old Council had forbidden anyone to explore. There were rumors of ancient civilizations and lost technologies waiting to be discovered. Back on Earth, Ambassador Seo Young-min worked late into the night on the documents that would reshape galactic civilization. The Terra Accords would establish new laws based on equality and justice, not the Old Council's system of species hierarchy. Article 15, she read to her staff. No species shall claim superiority over another based on technology, biology, or cultural development. All sapient beings have equal rights under galactic law. It sounded simple, but changing thousands of years of thinking would take time. Some species still believed they were naturally superior to others. Some former council leaders were hiding, in the outer rim, planning their return to power. Dr. Park So-jin had left military service to lead the first joint scientific expedition in galactic history. Her team included humans, Kalahari, Threx, and even some former council species who wanted to help build a better future. The biodiversity principle applies to intelligence too, she explained to her mixed species team. Every species thinks differently because they evolved in different environments. When we combine our different ways of thinking, we can solve problems that no single species could handle alone. Her current project was developing medical treatments that worked for all species. The Old Council had only cared about healing their own kind. Dr. Park wanted to create universal medicine that could help everyone. Admiral Kim walked through the memorial gardens dedicated to all who had died in the war for freedom. Admiral Lee's statue stood in the center, but thousands of other names were carved into the walls. Humans, Kalahari, Threx, and others who had given their lives for liberty. "Admiral," a young voice called out. Kim turned to see a Kalahari child with her human friend. "My teacher says you helped free my people. Is that true?" Kim knelt down to their level. "I helped, but many people worked together to win freedom. Your parents, their parents, soldiers from dozens of species. We all fought together. Will there be more wars?" the human child asked. Kim thought carefully before answering. "There might be conflicts, but we're working hard to solve problems, with words instead of weapons. That's why we have the new Galactic Assembly." The children ran off to play, leaving Kim with mixed feelings. The galaxy was more peaceful than it had been in centuries, but some former council leaders were still plotting in the shadows. Captain Ko Yun-soo commanded one of the new peacekeeping fleets that patrolled the galaxy. Her ships were fast and well-armed, but their mission was to protect trade routes and help settle disputes peacefully. "Captain," her tactical officer reported, "we're receiving a distress call from the Ventara system. Pirates are attacking civilian transports." "How many pirate ships?" Ko asked. 6 vessels. Probably former council military using stolen ships. "Set course for Ventara. Let's remind these pirates that the galaxy has new rules now." Ko's fleet arrived to find the pirates attacking defenseless cargo ships. But these weren't ordinary pirates. They were Vorthak extremists who refused to accept the new galactic order. "Attention pirate vessels," Ko broadcast. "You are ordered to cease Fire and surrender immediately. We do not take orders from inferior species, came the arrogant reply. The council will return and you primitives will learn your place. Ko sighed. Some beings never learned. The battle was short and decisive. Ko's ships used human tactics, combined with alien technology to quickly defeat the pirates. Most were captured alive and would face trial in the new galactic courts. Meanwhile, Professor Lim Jae-hyuk made the discovery of the century on a remote world in unexplored space. Hidden ruins contained the records of a species that had defeated the original council over 10,000 years ago. This changes everything we thought we knew about galactic history, he told his research team. The current council wasn't the first galactic government. There have been others, and they all eventually fell to the same corruption. The ancient records showed a pattern. Galactic governments started with good intentions but gradually became corrupt and oppressive. Eventually, they were overthrown by their own people. How did the ancients prevent this cycle from repeating? Asked his assistant. They created something called the Freedom Protocols, Lim explained. Constitutional rules that automatically triggered new elections and government reforms if any group gained too much power. This information was sent immediately to Ambassador Seo, who began incorporating the Freedom Protocols into the Terra Accords. The new galactic government would have built-in safeguards against corruption. Back on Earth, General Yoon Hyun-soo oversaw the conversion of humanity's secret weapons facilities into research centers. The technologies developed for war were being adapted for peaceful purposes. The kinetic lance technology is perfect for asteroid mining, engineer Han Ji-won reported. We can extract rare minerals without damaging the environment. What about the quantum disruption technology? Yoon asked. Dr. Kwon thinks it can be used for faster-than-light communication. Imagine being able to talk instantly with anyone in the galaxy. The war had forced humanity to develop amazing technologies. Now those same innovations were helping to build a better future for everyone. President Song's final speech to the Galactic Assembly was broadcast to every world in the galaxy. The old council ruled through fear and oppression. Our new alliance is built on hope and cooperation. We don't promise it will be easy. Freedom never is. But we promise it will be worth fighting for. Admiral Kim stood with his old crew, watching Earth from the observation deck of a space station. The planet looked peaceful and beautiful, no longer threatened by alien conquest. Admiral, Dr. Park joined him at the window. Do you think we've really changed the galaxy? Kim thought about all the species that were now free, all the children who would grow up without fear of slavery, all the discoveries being made by cooperative science teams. Dr. Park, when we started this fight, we just wanted to protect Earth. But somewhere along the way, we became something bigger. We became proof that free people working together can overcome any tyranny. Captain Ko's voice came over the communicator from deep space. Admiral, this is the peacekeeping fleet. We've just made contact with 3 new species in the Outer Rim. They want to join the Galactic Assembly. Admiral Jang reported from his exploration fleet. Admiral, we've discovered a star system with 7 habitable planets. No intelligent life, but perfect for colonization by anyone who wants a fresh start. The galaxy was bigger than anyone had imagined, full of wonders waiting to be explored. And for the first time in thousands of years, that exploration would be done by free people working together, not conquerors seeking slaves. Kim smiled as he watched ships from dozens of species traveling peacefully through space. Humans had started a war to defend Earth, but they had ended up liberating the galaxy. The greatest adventure was just beginning. The Council's massive fleet arrived like a dark cloud blocking out the stars. 2,000 ships of every size and type spread across space, ready to destroy Earth and end the rebellion forever. Leading them was Supreme Admiral Keth Voss, the Council's most experienced military commander. Admiral Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge of Earth's main command ship, watching the enemy fleet take position. Around him, the largest alliance fleet in galactic history waited for his orders. Humans, Kelhari, Threx, and dozens of other species had come together to fight for freedom. All ships, report status, Kim commanded. Fleet Admiral Hong Seung-min's Voice came through the communicator from his position with the Second Fleet. Second Fleet ready, Admiral. 150 ships standing by in the outer asteroid field. Dr. Quan Hee-jin, are the quantum mines deployed? Kim asked. Yes, sir, the quantum weapons specialist replied. 50 quantum disruption mines are hidden throughout the battlefield. When activated, they'll create space-time distortions that will tear apart enemy formations. General Park Chan-ho reported from Earth's surface. Planetary defenses are online, Admiral. Every city has shield, generators, and missile batteries. If any Council ships get through, we're ready for them. Kim looked at the tactical display showing both fleets. The Council had overwhelming numbers, but the Alliance had advantages the aliens didn't know about. The biggest advantage was that they were fighting for their freedom, while the Council was fighting to maintain their power over others. Open a channel to Supreme Admiral Keth Voss, Kim ordered. The main screen showed a massive Nexari, larger than any Kim had seen before. The alien's compound eyes glowed with anger, and his insect-like mandibles clicked rapidly. Human Admiral, Keth Voss spoke in a harsh voice. You have caused enough trouble. Surrender now, and your species will be allowed to work in the mining colonies. Resist, and we will destroy your world completely. Supreme Admiral, Kim replied calmly. You've made the same mistake your predecessors made. You think fear makes you strong, but it makes you weak. Today, the galaxy learns that tyranny has limits. Your small alliance cannot stand against the might of the Council, Keth Voss snarled. We have ruled this galaxy for thousands of years. Your rule ends today, Kim said simply, and closed the channel. The Supreme Admiral immediately ordered his fleet to attack. Council ships moved forward in perfect formations, their weapons charging and shields raised. They expected the Alliance to meet them in traditional battle lines. Instead, Kim gave the order that changed everything. Activate quantum mines. Dr. Quan pressed a series of controls, and 50 invisible mines scattered throughout space suddenly activated. Reality itself began to twist and bend around the mines, creating gravitational distortions that pulled Council ships off course. What is happening? Keth Voss screamed as his perfect formations broke apart. Ships were being dragged into spiraling, gravitational wells that shouldn't exist. Their formations are collapsing, reported Kim's tactical officer. The quantum distortions are making it impossible for them to maintain coordinated attacks. All Alliance ships implement the Chaos Protocol, Kim commanded. This was the strategy they had developed after studying every Council defeat in history. Instead of fighting like a traditional military, the Alliance would fight like a living organism, random, unpredictable, and impossible to counter. Human ships attacked from impossible angles. Kelhari vessels moved in spiraling patterns that made no sense. Threx ships appeared and disappeared using cloaking technology the Council thought was just a myth. Fleet Admiral Hong chose that moment to reveal the Second Fleet. 150 ships suddenly appeared from hidden positions in the asteroid field, attacking the Council's rear formations. Admiral Kim, Hong reported, we're hitting their supply ships and command vessels. The enemy is trying to respond, but they can't predict our movements. Captain Lee Dong-woo, now promoted to Admiral, led a desperate assault on the Council's main command ship. His task force of 30 ships dove straight into the heart of the enemy fleet, ignoring the massive firepower aimed at them. All ships, target the command vessel, Lee ordered. We're going to cut the head off this snake. The Council ships tried to stop Lee's attack, but the humans moved like they were insane. They twisted and spun through enemy fire, using maneuvers that no military academy taught. Their ships were hit dozens of times but kept fighting. Their command ship's shields are down, Lee's tactical officer shouted. We can board them. Do it, Lee commanded. Colonel Bae Sung-ho led the boarding assault with his best Marines. They cut through the Council command ship's hull and fought their way toward the bridge. The Nexari defenders were skilled fighters, but they had never faced humans in close combat. They move like liquid, one Nexari warrior reported before Bae's team overwhelmed his position. I cannot predict their attacks. On the main battlefield, the quantum mines were causing chaos in the Council fleet. Ships that tried to maintain formation found themselves pulled into gravitational spirals. When they scattered to avoid the mines, they became easy targets for Alliance attacks. Dr. Kwan monitored her weapons from the command ship. "Admiral, the quantum disruption is exceeding expectations. The enemy fleet is completely disorganized." "How long can we maintain the effect?" Kim asked. 30 more minutes, then the mines will burn out." "That's enough. Signal all ships. Press the attack while they're confused." The Alliance fleet struck with everything they had. Human kinetic lances punched through Council shields. Kelhari plasma torpedoes melted enemy armor. Threx gravity bombs crushed entire enemy squadrons. But the Council had one more surprise. Supreme Admiral Keth Voss activated a weapon that had been kept secret for centuries. A planet-killer beam that could destroy entire worlds. "Admiral," Dr. Park So-jin called out in alarm. "Massive energy buildup in their flagship. It's aimed at Earth." Kim felt ice in his veins. If that weapon fired, billions of people would die instantly. "All ships, focus fire on the flagship." He ordered. "Stop that weapon." Every Alliance ship turned toward the massive Council flagship, but they were too far away. The planet-killer beam was almost ready to fire. That's when Admiral Lee made the most heroic decision in human history. "Admiral Kim, this is Lee," he said over the communicator. "My ship is damaged and won't make it out anyway. I'm going to ram their flagship." "Lee, no!" Kim shouted. "There has to be another way." "Tell my family I died fighting for Earth's freedom," Lee replied. His ship, the EDS Incheon, accelerated directly toward the Council flagship. Every weapon on the massive enemy ship fired at him, but Lee's ship kept coming. At the last second, he activated his ship's self-destruct system. The explosion tore through the flagship's hull, destroying the planet-killer weapon and killing Supreme Admiral Keth Voss. The Council's command structure collapsed instantly. Without their supreme commander and with their formations broken by the quantum mines, the Council fleet began to retreat. Some ships tried to continue fighting, but most realized the battle was lost. "Admiral," Colonel Bay reported from the captured command ship, "I have dozens of Council officers as prisoners. Their fleet is in complete disorder." Kim watched as Council ships fled toward the edge of the solar system. The largest fleet in galactic history had been defeated by an alliance of species they considered inferior. "Signal all Alliance ships," Kim ordered. "Let them go, but make sure they understand any Council ship that attacks innocent civilians will be hunted down and destroyed." Dr. Kwan reported that the quantum mines were burning out, but the battle was already won. The Alliance had proven that the Council's military superiority was an illusion. "Admiral," General Park called from Earth's surface, "our sensors show Council ships retreating from 12 different star systems. Word of our victory is spreading faster than light." Kim looked at the tactical display showing the retreating Council fleet. They had come to destroy Earth and enslave humanity. Instead, they had learned that free people fighting together were stronger than any tyrant. "Open a channel to all Alliance ships," Kim commanded. "Today we've proven that tyranny can be defeated, but this is only the beginning. We're going to make sure every species in the galaxy has the chance to be free." The greatest battle in galactic history was over, and freedom had won. But Kim knew the real work was just beginning. The Council still controlled most of the galaxy, and they would not give up easily. Admiral Lee's sacrifice had saved Earth and inspired the galaxy. His name would be remembered forever as the hero who struck the decisive blow for freedom. Captain Ko Yun-soo moved silently through the dark corridors of a Council prison ship. Her intelligence team had been planning this rescue mission for weeks, ever since they learned about the Kelhari prisoners being transported to a slave colony. The Yaoin. Kelhari were a peaceful species that the Council had conquered 3 years ago. Their crime was refusing to give up their religion and culture. Now they worked in dangerous mines while Council species lived in comfort. "Team 2 report," Ko whispered into her communicator. "Prison level secured," came the reply. "We found 200 Kelhari prisoners. They're weak but alive." Ko had volunteered for these dangerous missions because she believed Dr. Nam's broadcasts were working. All across the galaxy, species were starting to question Council authority. Some were even fighting back. On a dead world far from Council space, Professor Lim Jae-hyuk brushed dust off ancient stone carvings. He had been searching ruins for months looking for evidence of the Council's past crimes. What he found was worse than anyone had imagined. "This is incredible," he said to his assistant. "These carvings show the Council destroying entire civilizations. They've done this dozens of times over thousands of years. The ruins belonged to a species called the Anari, who had been wiped out completely 500 years ago. According to the carvings, they had discovered faster-than-light travel on their own, just like humans had. The Council decided they were too dangerous to live." "Professor, look at this section," his assistant called out. "It shows the Council's real military strength. They have thousands of ships hidden in secret bases throughout the galaxy." Lim studied the carvings carefully. The ancient Anari had been excellent record keepers. Their stone writings showed Council battle fleets, slave colonies, and something even more disturbing: biological weapons designed to kill specific species. "We need to get this information to Earth immediately," Lim said. "Admiral Kim needs to know what we're really fighting against." Light years away, Commander Ryu Si-woo led a small fleet of human ships deep into Council territory. His mission was to strike supply convoys and make the aliens afraid to travel alone. So far, his tactics were working perfectly. "Target acquired," his tactical officer reported. "Council supply convoy, 12 ships carrying weapons to their forward bases." "Any escorts?" Ryu asked. "Just 4 patrol ships, nothing we can't handle." Ryu smiled. Council supply ships were slow and lightly armed. Their escort ships expected to fight other Council vessels using predictable tactics. They never expected humans to attack like space pirates. "All ships, attack pattern Chaos 7, Ryu commanded. His ships scattered in different directions, moving in patterns that made no military sense. The Council escorts tried to form a defensive line, but the humans ignored their formation completely. One human ship attacked from above while another came from below. A third ship pretended to retreat, then suddenly turned around and struck from behind. The fourth human vessel did barrel rolls while firing, something no sane military pilot would ever do. "Their escorts are destroyed," the tactical officer reported. "The supply ships are surrendering." "Board them and take everything useful," Ryu ordered. "Then let the crews go in escape pods. I want them to spread the word that nowhere is safe for Council forces." Back on Earth, Admiral Kim studied reports from operations across the galaxy. Human teams were striking Council targets, rescuing slaves, and spreading the message that the old order was ending. "How many species have contacted us?" Kim asked Dr. Park So-jin. 17 so far, she replied. "The Kelhari want to join our alliance. The Threks are considering rebellion against Council rule. And the Valerans have started refusing to pay Council taxes." "Any word from Professor Lim?" "His latest report is disturbing, Admiral. The Council has been systematically destroying species for centuries. We're not their first target, and we won't be their last if we lose." Kim walked to the viewing window and looked out at Earth. The planet seemed peaceful, but he knew it was now the center of a growing galactic revolution. Other species were finding courage because humans had shown them that the Council could be defeated. Captain Ko's voice came through the communication system. "Admiral, rescue mission successful. 200 Kelhari freed and delivered to their homeworld. But I have disturbing news." "Go ahead, Captain." The prison ship was carrying biological weapons, sir. Diseases designed to kill specific species. The Council is preparing for genocide on a massive scale. Kim felt cold anger in his chest. The Council wasn't just trying to enslave other species. They were planning to wipe out anyone who resisted. "Dr. Park, get our best scientists working on defenses against biological weapons immediately." "Yes, sir." "But Admiral, there's something else. Commander Ryu reports that Council forces are massing for a major offensive. Intelligence suggests they're preparing to attack Earth with everything they have." Kim had been expecting this. The Council couldn't allow Earth's rebellion to succeed because it would inspire every oppressed species in the galaxy. They would send their largest fleet to crush humanity once and for all. "How long do we have?" Kim asked. 2 weeks, maybe 3. They're gathering ships from across their territory." "How many ships?" Dr. Park looked at her datapad. "Conservative estimate? 2,000, possibly more." The bridge fell silent. Even with all their hidden weapons and clever tactics, fighting 2,000 ships would be almost impossible. Admiral, Dr. Park continued, there's something else. The species we've been helping are offering to fight beside us. The Kalhari have a small but experienced navy. The Threks have powerful weapons technology. Even some individual ships from Council species are defecting to our side. Kim thought about this. Humanity had started this fight alone, but now they were part of something bigger. The galaxy was waking up to the truth about Council tyranny. Contact General Yoon, Kim ordered. Tell him to activate all hidden facilities. Contact Professor Lim and tell him to return to Earth with all his evidence, and send a message to Captain Ko and Commander Ryu. It's time to come home. What about our new allies? Dr. Park asked. Invite them to join us, Kim decided. If the Council wants to fight the biggest battle in galactic history, let's give them what they want. Over the next few days, ships from dozens of species began arriving in Earth's solar system. The Kalhari brought their fast attack ships. The Threks contributed their advanced shields. Even some Vorthak and Nexari, who disagreed with Council policies, joined the growing alliance. Professor Lim returned with evidence that shocked everyone. The ancient ruins proved that the Council had destroyed over 40 different species throughout their history. They kept some as slaves and wiped out others completely. This information needs to be broadcast to every world in the galaxy, Kim decided. Dr. Nam, I want every species to know what the Council really is. Already working on it, Admiral. When this evidence reaches the Council's own people, many of them will turn against their leaders. Commander Ryu's scout ships reported that the Council's attack fleet was massive beyond anything ever seen before. Every ship type from every Council species was represented. They were bringing weapons that had never been used in galactic warfare. They're scared, Dr. Park observed. They're bringing everything they have because they know this is their last chance to maintain control. Kim looked around at his command staff. These humans had spent years preparing for war, but now they were fighting for something much bigger than Earth. They were fighting for the freedom of every species in the galaxy. Prepare for the largest battle in galactic history, he announced. Send word to all our allies. It's time to end Council tyranny forever. In space around Earth, the largest fleet ever assembled by free species waited for the coming storm. Humans, Kalhari, Threks, and dozens of others stood ready to fight together. The galaxy was about to change forever. High Commander Vex Korath stood on the bridge of his flagship, confident and angry. The destruction of his scout ships had been unexpected, but he had brought 200 ships to punish the humans. No primitive species could stand against such power. All ships maintain formation, he commanded. We will destroy their pathetic defenses and teach these creatures to respect the Council. His fleet moved through space toward Earth's asteroid belt. Intelligence reports said humans had some mining operations there, but nothing that could threaten a Council battle fleet. Admiral Kim Tae-ho watched the approaching enemy from his hidden command center inside a large asteroid. Around him, dozens of other asteroids contained weapons, ships, and soldiers that the Council didn't know existed. Contact Colonel Bae Sung-ho, Kim ordered. Tell him to prepare his Marines for boarding operations. Colonel Bae was waiting in, a disguised assault ship with 50 of Earth's best soldiers. They had trained for years to fight aliens in the close quarters of starship corridors. The Council species had never faced humans in hand-to-hand combat. Lieutenant Commander Oh Yuri, are your fighters ready? Kim asked. Yes, sir, came the reply from another hidden asteroid. 100 fighters standing by. The pilots are eager to test their new tactics. Oh had developed something called swarm fighting, using many small, fast ships to overwhelm larger vessels. It was based on studying how Earth insects attacked much larger predators. Dr. Nam Ki-jun, begin broadcasting. On all Council frequencies, Kim commanded. Dr. Nam was humanity's expert on psychological warfare. He understood how to use words and images to break enemy morale. His broadcasts would tell the galaxy the truth about Council lies. The Council fleet entered the asteroid belt, weapons ready. The asteroids looked normal, just floating rocks in space. Vex Korath was disappointed. He had expected more defenses from a species that had destroyed his scouts. Scan all asteroids, he ordered. Look for hidden weapons. His sensors detected some small energy sources, but nothing that looked dangerous. The humans seemed to be hiding like scared animals. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, "we're detecting mining equipment and small facilities. Nothing that could threaten our ships." "Excellent," Vex Korath said. "Begin bombardment. Destroy everything." That was exactly what Admiral Kim had been waiting for. "All stations, activate," Kim commanded. Suddenly, the asteroid belt came alive. What had looked like simple mining equipment revealed itself as powerful weapons. Kinetic lances fired from dozens of positions, punching through council shields like they were made of paper. "What is happening?" Vex Korath shouted as his ships began exploding around him. "Sir, the asteroids are armed," his officer screamed. "These aren't mining stations, they're hidden fortresses." Lieutenant Commander O launched her fighters from concealed bays inside the asteroids. 100 small fast ships swarmed out like angry bees. The council had never seen anything like it. "Focus fire on the fighters," Vex Korath ordered, but the human fighters didn't behave like normal military units. Instead of flying in formation, they moved in random patterns that made no sense. O had taught her pilots to fight like they were playing, not following military rules. "I can't get a lock on them," the tactical officer reported. "They're flying like they're insane." The council ships tried to track the fighters but couldn't predict their movements. Human creativity was something alien computers couldn't calculate. "Colonel," Bay's assault ship attached itself to the council flagship like a parasite. "Breach, breach, breach," he shouted as his Marines cut through the hull. The aliens inside were not ready for what came next. Council species fought with energy weapons at long range. They had never faced humans with physical weapons in narrow corridors. Bay led his Marines through the ship, moving fast and hitting hard. The four-armed Vorthak were strong, but they couldn't handle the way humans moved and fought. Human soldiers twisted and rolled in ways that confused the aliens. "They're like liquid," one Vorthak warrior screamed before a Marine tackled him. The human Marines had studied every council species for years. They knew exactly how to fight each type of alien. The Vorthak expected direct attacks, so the humans attacked from unexpected angles. On the bridge of his flagship, Vex Korath watched his fleet being destroyed by enemies that shouldn't exist. Half his ships were already gone, and more were dying, every minute. "Sir, human soldiers have boarded 17 of our ships," his communications officer reported with fear in his voice. "How is this possible?" Vex Korath demanded. "Humans are supposed to be weak." Dr. Nam's voice suddenly filled the bridge, speaking in perfect Vorthak language. "High Commander, you have been lied to. Earth is not weak. Earth is not helpless. Your council leaders sent you here to die because they knew humans would fight back." "Turn off that transmission," Vex Korath ordered. "I cannot, sir. They're broadcasting on frequencies we cannot block." Dr. Nam continued speaking, but now his words were heard throughout the galaxy. "People of all species, listen to what the council doesn't want you to know. They said humans were overpopulated, but that was a lie. They wanted to enslave us for their mining colonies. They have done this to other species before." Admiral Kim watched as more council ships tried to retreat, but his forces had surrounded them. The aliens had walked into a trap that had been years in the making. "Colonel Bay, report," Kim said into his communicator. "Admiral, we've captured the flagship bridge. The High Commander is our prisoner. These aliens have never fought anyone. Who hits back?" Lieutenant Commander O's fighters continued their deadly dance around the remaining council ships. Her pilots were laughing and joking on the communication channels, treating the battle like a dangerous game. "How many enemy ships left?" Kim asked. 37, sir, and most of those are trying to surrender." Kim thought for a moment. The council needed to learn that threatening Earth had consequences, but he also wanted some aliens to escape and carry the message back. "Let 12 ships go," he decided. "But take their weapons first. I want them to tell the council exactly what happened here." "Yes, sir." "Should we take more prisoners?" "Take their officers for questioning. Release the regular soldiers after we interrogate them." Colonel Bay brought High Commander Vex Korath to Kim's command center. The alien leader was wounded and confused. His 4 arms were restrained, and his confidence was completely gone. "High Commander," Kim said in a calm voice, You came here to enslave my people. Your species is primitive, Vex Korath said weakly. The Council will send more ships. I'm counting on it, Kim replied. Each time they send ships, we'll destroy them. Eventually, the Council will learn that Earth is not afraid of them. Dr. Nam approached with a data pad. Admiral, our broadcasts have reached 47 star systems. Other oppressed species are starting to ask questions about Council policies. Kim nodded. The battle was won, but the war was just beginning. The Council would be angry about losing 200 ships, and they would want revenge. Signal all units, Kim ordered. Collect salvage from the destroyed ships. We're going to need every piece of technology we can get. What about the prisoners? Colonel Bay asked. Treat them well, Kim said. I want them to go back to the Council and tell everyone that humans are honorable in victory. Maybe some aliens will decide to join us instead of fighting us. High Commander Vex Korath looked around at the asteroid base that had seemed empty just hours before. Now he could see weapons, ships, and soldiers everywhere. The humans had fooled him completely. How long have you been preparing for this? He asked. 50 years, Kim answered. Ever since the Council made it clear that they thought humans were inferior. We learned your languages, studied your tactics, and built weapons you didn't think we could create. The alien commander slumped in defeat. His mighty fleet was gone, destroyed by a species the Council had considered barely intelligent. The Council will not forgive this, he warned. Admiral Kim looked out at the stars where the wreckage of the Council fleet was floating. High Commander, tell your leaders something for me. Tell them that Earth remembers every insult, every threat, and every attempt to make us bow down. And tell them we're just getting started. General Yoon Hyun Soo received Admiral Kim's message while standing in a secret facility, buried deep under the Rocky Mountains. The message was short. Activate Project Prometheus. The war has begun. Yoon had been waiting for this day for 15 years. He walked quickly through corridors that didn't exist on any official map. The facility was called Deep Sight Alpha, and it was humanity's biggest secret. Han Ji-won, report to the main lab immediately, he spoke into his communicator. Bring the Lance prototypes. Engineer Han Ji-won was already running toward the lab when she got the message. She had been working on her kinetic lance weapons for 3 years, hoping she would never need to use them. Now that day had come. The main laboratory was huge, filled with weapons and technology that would shock the Galactic Council. Humans had been following Council rules on the surface, but underground they had been very busy. General, Han said, as she arrived, the kinetic lances are ready. We have 12 operational units. Show me, Yoon replied. Han led him to a long metal device that looked like a simple tube. This doesn't look like much, but it can punch through any Council energy shield. We use pure kinetic energy, just speed and mass. Their shields are designed to stop energy weapons, not physical projectiles moving at incredible speed. Major, Shin Woo-jin entered the lab carrying a data pad. General, my teams are ready. We've been studying Council military tactics for years. Each species has weaknesses they don't even know about. Yoon nodded. Tell me about the Vorthak. They're strong and fast, but they think in straight lines, Shin explained. Their forearms make them confident in close combat, but they can't handle unpredictable movements. Human flexibility confuses them. And the Nexari? Insect minds work like computers, very logical but not creative. They always choose the most efficient solution. If we do something inefficient that still works, they can't adapt quickly. Han activated a holographic display showing the solar system. General, we have hidden installations on 17 asteroids, 4 moons, and 3 space stations disguised as mining operations. The Council thinks we only have 12 military ships. How many do we really have? Yoon asked. 237 combat ships plus over 400 support vessels, all hidden in asteroid fields or camouflaged to look like civilian craft. Yoon smiled. The Council thought humans were stupid and weak. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Dr. Park So-jin's voice came through the communication system. General Yoon, this is Dr. Park. I'm sending you my analysis of why the Council underestimated us. Go ahead, Doctor. They think our biodiversity makes us chaotic and weak, but it actually makes us incredibly adaptable. Every human thinks differently because we evolved in different environments. That's why we're so good at finding new solutions to problems. Han pulled up another display. General, look at this. Council species each evolved on single planets with stable environments. They're specialized for specific conditions. Humans evolved on a planet with deserts, jungles, mountains, and ice. We learned to adapt to anything, Major Shin added. That's why my soldiers can learn to fight any enemy. We don't have one perfect way of doing things. We have hundreds of different ways, and we choose the best one for each situation. Yoon's communicator beeped. General, this is Admiral Kim. We've detected Council scout ships approaching our outer defenses. They're scanning our orbital platforms. Are the platforms ready? Yoon asked. Yes, sir. They look like simple defense satellites with basic weapons. The scouts won't detect the real armaments until it's too late. Han worked quickly at her control panel. General, I'm linking the kinetic lances to the orbital platforms now. When those scouts get close enough, they'll get a very unpleasant surprise. On the main screen, they could see dots representing the Council scout ships moving toward Earth's orbital defenses. The aliens were being careful but not worried. Earth's defenses looked primitive to them. There are 6 scout ships, Major Shin observed. Probably Nixari design, fast and well shielded. Perfect test subjects, Han said. The kinetic lances will go right through their shields like they aren't even there. Yoon opened a channel to Admiral Kim. Admiral, let them get close. We want to capture at least one ship intact for study. Understood, General. Our platforms are powering up now. On the display, the Council scouts moved closer to the orbital platforms. The aliens were scanning everything, probably laughing at how weak human technology looked. Firing solution locked, Han announced. 5 targets marked. For destruction, 1 for capture. Fire, Yoon commanded. The kinetic lances activated silently in space. There were no bright energy beams or explosions, just metal projectiles moving faster than anything the Council had ever seen. 5 of the scout ships simply disappeared, torn apart by the incredible kinetic energy. The 6th ship found itself surrounded by human capture nets before its crew could react. The aliens inside were probably very confused about what had just happened. Perfect, Major Shin said. We'll have live prisoners to interrogate and a ship to study. Admiral Kim's voice came through the communicator. General, the remaining scout is trying to send a distress signal. Should we stop them? No, Yoon replied. Let them send their message. I want the Council to know that Earth has teeth. Han was already working on her next project. General, the Lance technology can be scaled up. I'm designing ship-mounted versions that can destroy Council battleships in one shot. How long? Yoon asked. 3 days for the first prototype, 1 week for full production. Yoon walked to the viewing screen showing Earth from space. The planet looked peaceful and beautiful, but now it was preparing for war. Humanity had spent 50 years pretending to be weak while secretly becoming very strong. Major Shin, begin Phase 2 operations. I want your teams ready to board enemy ships and capture Council officers. Yes, sir. We've been practicing zero-gravity combat for years. The aliens won't expect humans to be so effective in space battles. Dr. Park's analysis appeared on the main screen. General, I've studied the psychological profiles of Council leadership. They're used to species that surrender when faced with superior technology. They don't understand humans who fight harder when things get worse. That's their mistake, Yoon said. Han, how many more weapons systems do we have ready? 47 different types, sir. Gravity mines, plasma torpedoes, electromagnetic pulse bombs, and some things the Council has never seen before. Excellent. Major Shin, prepare your boarding teams. Admiral Kim reports that a Council punishment fleet is heading our way. Shin grinned. How many ships, sir? 200. They're going to need more ships, Shin said confidently. Yoon looked around at his team. These humans had spent years preparing for this moment. They had built weapons, trained soldiers, and planned strategies while the Council thought Earth was helpless. Remember, he told them, the Council believes humans are primitive and weak. Let's show them what happens when they threaten our families and our world. The secret facility buzzed with activity as humanity's hidden arsenal prepared for war. The Council was about to learn that underestimating humans was a fatal mistake. Admiral Kim Tae-ho stood on the bridge of Earth's main defense station, watching the stars through the wide viewing window. He had fought in many battles during his long career, but today felt different. Something was coming, and he could feel it in his bones. The communication console beeped loudly. "Admiral, we have an incoming message from the Galactic Council," said his communications officer. "It's marked as urgent and official." Kim walked over to the main screen. "Put it through." The screen flickered and showed 3 alien figures sitting at a curved table. In the center was a tall gray creature with 4 arms, a Vorthak leader. To his right sat a being that looked like a giant insect with glowing eyes, a Nexari. The third alien had blue skin and tentacles instead of hair. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the Vorthak spoke in a cold voice. "I am High Commander Vex Korath of the Galactic Council. We have made an important decision about your species." Kim felt his stomach drop. Nothing good ever came from council decisions. About humanity. "Your planet is overpopulated," the alien continued. "Your people use too many resources. The council has decided that 70% of your population must be relocated to mining colonies in the Outer Rim. This will help the galaxy and teach your species useful work." The Nexari leaned forward. "You have 30 standard days to prepare the selected humans for transport. We will provide the transport ships. Resistance is not advised." The blue alien added, "This decision is final. The Council knows what is best for primitive species like yours." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in shocked silence. Kim stared at the blank screen for several seconds. Then he turned to his crew. "Get me Dr. Park So-jin immediately, and contact Ambassador Choi. We need to talk." 20 minutes later, Dr. Park So-jin arrived at the command center. She was Earth's top expert on alien biology and had worked with the Council for years. Her face was pale as she sat down. "I saw the transmission," she said quietly. "Admiral, they're lying." "What do you mean?" Dr. Park pulled out her datapad. "I've been studying Council records for months. Earth isn't overpopulated by galactic standards. In fact, we use fewer resources per person than most Council species. This isn't about overpopulation." "Ambassador," Choi Min-a's voice came through the communication system. She was calling from the Council station in space. "Admiral, I'm trying to negotiate with them, but they won't listen. They keep saying humans are too stupid to understand galactic politics." Kim's hands formed fists. "What do they really want, Dr. Park?" "Slaves," she answered simply. "Humans are strong, adaptable, and intelligent. But we're not part of their inner circle of species. They want to use us for dangerous work while keeping us weak." The Admiral's communication officer spoke up. "Sir, Captain Lee Dongwoo is requesting urgent contact. His patrol ship encountered something near the outer colonies." "Put him through." "Captain." Lee's face appeared on screen. His uniform was torn and there was dried blood on his forehead. "Admiral, we found a Council enforcement fleet hiding behind the moon of Colony 7. They opened fire when we got too close. We barely escaped." "How many ships?" Kim asked. "At least 50, sir. They weren't supposed to be there. The Council said they would give us 30 days. Dr. Park stood up quickly. "Admiral, if they're already positioning attack fleets, they never intended to let us choose. They want us to resist so they can claim we're dangerous." Kim walked back to the viewing window and looked out at Earth below. The blue and green planet looked so peaceful from space. Billions of people lived down there, going about their daily lives. They had no idea that aliens were planning to enslave. Most of them. "Sir," his communications officer called out. "More reports coming in. Council ships have been spotted near colonies 3, 5, and 9. They're surrounding us." Ambassador Choi's voice crackled through the speakers again. "Admiral, I confronted the Council directly. They laughed at me. High Commander Vex Korath said humans are like children who need to learn their place in the galaxy." Kim felt anger burning in his chest. For 50 years, humanity had followed Council rules. They had limited their technology, kept their military small, and accepted being treated as a junior species. They had tried to be peaceful and cooperative. "Dr. Park," he said slowly, "in your opinion, are we really as weak as they think we are?" She smiled for the first time that day. Admiral, they have no idea what humans are capable of when we're angry. Kim turned to face his bridge crew. Every officer was looking at him, waiting for orders. These were good people who had dedicated their lives to protecting Earth. They deserved to know the truth. Listen carefully, he said in a strong voice. The Galactic Council has decided to enslave our people. They think we're too weak and stupid to fight back. They think we'll just surrender because they have bigger ships and fancier weapons. He paused and looked each officer in the eye. They're wrong. Sir, his tactical officer asked, what are your orders? Kim walked to his command chair and sat down. For a moment he thought about all the peaceful years, all the times humanity had tried to fit in with the galactic community. Those days were over. Contact General Yoon at Black Operations, he said clearly. Tell him it's time to activate Project Prometheus. Contact all fleet commanders and tell them to prepare for war. And send a message to Captain Lee. Tell him to return to base immediately. Admiral, Dr. Park said carefully, are you sure about this? We'll be fighting the entire Galactic Council. Kim looked at her with calm determination. Dr. Park, they've made a mistake. They think humans are weak because we've been following their rules, but we've been preparing for this day even if we hoped it would never come. He stood up and looked out at the stars again. Somewhere out there, alien fleets were moving to surround Earth. They thought they were hunting sheep. Send a message to Ambassador Choi, he said. Tell her to leave the Council Station immediately and return to Earth, and send one more message to High Commander Vex Korath. What should it say, sir? Kim smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. Tell him that if the Galactic Council wants war, humanity will give them war like they've never seen before. Tell him that Earth remembers every insult, every threat, and every attempt to make us bow down. And tell him we're coming. The bridge crew began working frantically to carry out his orders. Earth's greatest test was about to begin.